Have you ever wondered what separates wisdom from folly? It's not just about how much you know, it's about how you live, treat others, and grow from your mistakes. In life, intelligence goes beyond facts. It's reflected in behaviors, choices, and emotional resilience. Yet even the smartest among us sometimes exhibit unmistakable signs of poor judgment. These signs, though glaring, often go unnoticed or are dismissed entirely. Why does this matter? Because recognizing these behaviors isn't about labeling others, it's about turning the mirror on ourselves. Awareness is the first step toward avoiding traps that keep us from personal growth. If you've ever wondered how to break free from behaviors that hinder your growth, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll delve into timeless lessons from Stoic philosophy that guide us to self-mastery. These principles are not just abstract ideas. They're practical tools for building resilience, emotional control, and deeper connections. Stay with me until the end when I'll share how to apply these lessons in ways that can truly make a difference in your daily life. And if this message resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. A simple action like this could spark meaningful change. Let's embark on this journey together and discover the wisdom hidden in plain sight. 1. Talking more than listening. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason: to listen twice as much as we speak. Yet, some people dominate conversations, prioritizing their own opinions over understanding others. They fail to realize that listening is the cornerstone of growth and wisdom, a truth echoed in the teachings of Stoic philosophy. Imagine this: a colleague in a team meeting who constantly interrupts others, insisting their idea is the best without giving space for alternative suggestions. I once worked with someone like this. He would speak over others, eager to share his vision, but in doing so, he missed out on great ideas that could have propelled the team forward. His need to talk wasn't rooted in confidence, but in insecurity, a belief that if he didn't assert himself, his value wouldn't be recognized. Similarly, during family dinners, you may notice someone recounting their achievements endlessly, while disregarding a relative who's trying to share a significant life event. These moments reveal a fundamental disconnect: the inability to step outside oneself and truly hear another person. When we talk more than we listen, we build walls instead of bridges. This behavior isolates us, leaving no room for collaboration, understanding, or meaningful connections. It's a barrier not just to relationships, but to personal growth. The Stoics believed in the virtue of humility and the power of silence. As Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening is not passive, it is an active skill, a form of respect that shows we value the perspectives of others. It's in silence that we learn, understand, and find wisdom. Talking too much often stems from a need to feel important or validated. Yet Stoic wisdom teaches us that our worth isn't determined by the volume of our words, but by the depth of our understanding. The truly wise know when to speak, and more importantly, when to remain silent. Listening doesn't just enrich our own knowledge, it transforms relationships. When you genuinely listen, you make others feel heard and valued. This simple act fosters trust and builds goodwill, which, as the Stoics would argue, is one of the most powerful forms of human connection. On the other hand, failing to listen sends a different message. It tells others that their thoughts and feelings don't matter. Over time, this creates resentment, distances us from meaningful relationships, and diminishes our influence. Breaking the habit of over-talking requires conscious effort. In conversations, give yourself a moment to reflect on what the other person has said before jumping in. Show genuine curiosity by asking thoughtful questions, which encourages deeper dialogue and mutual understanding. Paraphrasing or summarizing their words can confirm your understanding and make them feel appreciated. Above all, resist the urge to interrupt. Even if you have something valuable to add, wait for them to finish. The act of waiting fosters patience and respect. Listening opens the door to new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. It helps us step outside our own limited viewpoint and see the world through another's eyes. In doing so, we gain insights we might never have discovered on our own. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, you always have the option of having no opinion. This doesn't mean suppressing your thoughts, but rather choosing when and how to express them. Wisdom often lies in holding back, absorbing more, and speaking less. If you find yourself talking more than listening, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I truly engaging in this conversation, or am I merely waiting for my turn to speak? By shifting focus from speaking to listening, you not only enrich your understanding, but also strengthen your relationships and character. Remember, wisdom isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the one who listens, learns, and grows. Let the silence guide you toward clarity and connection. 2. Wasting goodwill. Have you ever found yourself giving too much, your time, your effort, your energy, only to feel unappreciated or even dismissed? Generosity, while noble, can become misplaced when it's not given purposefully. True goodwill is not about endless giving. It's about knowing when and how to give in a way that brings value to others and preserves your dignity. The Stoics remind us that even kindness must have boundaries, for without them, it becomes exploitation, not virtue. Think of a time when you dropped everything to help a friend, only to later feel resentful when they barely acknowledged your effort. Or perhaps you poured all your energy into solving someone's problem, only to realize they never truly needed your help in the first place. These moments aren't just emotionally draining. They also chip away at the reservoir of goodwill that could have been used more wisely. Goodwill, like a bank account, must be managed with care. It is not infinite, and when it's overdrawn, relationships can fracture under the weight of unspoken frustrations. The Stoic philosophy of living with purpose reminds us to focus our energy on what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Being good does not mean overextending yourself or solving problems that aren't yours to fix. It means understanding when your effort is truly needed and when it may instead do more harm than good. When we give excessively or inappropriately, we risk two things: burnout and disrespect. Burnout happens when we stretch ourselves too thin, leaving nothing left for our own growth or peace of mind. Disrespect arises when others begin to take our kindness for granted, seeing it as an expectation rather than a gift. This dynamic often erodes trust and creates resentment on both sides, making goodwill, what should be a source of connection, feel like a burden. Consider this: a colleague repeatedly asks for your help with their work. Out of kindness, you agree, setting aside your own tasks. Yet over time, they come to rely on you instead of improving their own skills. In trying to assist, you inadvertently prevent them from growing. Worse, your own productivity suffers, leaving you frustrated and underappreciated. This isn't goodwill, it's a misplaced effort. To give purposefully, we must first recognize the limits of our energy and time. Epictetus wisely advised, "Know what is within your power and what is not." This means discerning where your contributions will truly make a difference and where they might be unnecessary or even counterproductive. It is not selfish to say no. It is an act of self-respect and a way to protect the integrity of your relationships. True generosity lies in giving at the right time, in the right way, and for the right reasons. It's about offering support where it's needed and stepping back where it's not. For instance, instead of solving a friend's problem outright, guide them toward finding their own solution. This empowers them to grow while showing that your help is a gift, not a crutch. Similarly, in professional settings, establish clear boundaries that allow you to assist others without sacrificing your own priorities. Goodwill, when used wisely, strengthens relationships and builds trust. It becomes a powerful force for connection and collaboration, helping both the giver and the receiver flourish. But when it is wasted, when it is given without thought or purpose, it drains the giver and diminishes its value. By giving intentionally, you preserve not only your energy, but also the essence of what makes goodwill meaningful. Reflect on your own habits. Are you giving in ways that uplift and connect, or are you giving out of obligation, leaving yourself drained and unseen? Remember, generosity is not measured by quantity, but by quality. As Seneca observed, nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. True goodwill begins with discernment, understanding when to give, when to step back, and when to let others stand on their own. Let your generosity be purposeful, balanced, and deeply rooted in wisdom. 3. Jealousy. Imagine a colleague receiving a promotion, and instead of celebrating their success, someone dismisses it with, "It's just luck. Anyone could have done it." This reaction may seem minor, but it reveals a deeper issue: jealousy. Envy is not rare, especially in a society that glorifies achievements and success. Yet unchecked, it can distort our poor. Jealousy often begins with comparison. Perhaps you scroll through social media and see someone's vacation photos, their new car, or a celebration of their accomplishments. It's natural to feel a twinge of envy, but when that feeling takes over, it can poison our mindset. Instead of being inspired by others' success, we may start to resent it, focusing on what we lack rather than appreciating what we have. However, jealousy isn't inherently harmful. It also has a role to play when directed positively. Consider a group of fangirls surrounding their favorite idol after a concert. Initially, each may feel envy toward the others, vying for the idol's attention. Yet, as they realize no one can outshine the others, they unite, cheering together for their shared admiration. Here, jealousy becomes a bridge for connection, fostering camaraderie instead of competition. This shows that envy, when channeled correctly, can motivate unity and understanding. Stoic philosophy teaches us to shift our perspective. As Seneca wisely noted, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Jealousy stems from a desire for what we perceive others have, and we don't. But this craving distracts us from our own journey. Instead of focusing on external comparisons, the Stoics encourage us to look inward, cultivating gratitude for what we already possess. While jealousy can spark unity or motivation in specific situations, it can also lead to destructive behaviors when left unchecked. It isolates us, warps our interactions, and creates unnecessary friction. If we let envy dominate, it blinds us to our strengths and hinders personal growth. When we see others succeed, instead of asking, "Why them, not me?" ask instead, "What can I learn from their journey?" Overcoming jealousy starts with recognition. Acknowledge the feeling without judgment. It's okay to feel envious. It's part of being human. But what matters is how you respond to it. Shift your focus from what others have to what you can do. For example, if a colleague's promotion sparks envy, take a moment to reflect. What steps did they take to achieve it? Is there something you can learn or improve upon in your own career? This process turns jealousy into a tool for self-improvement. Gratitude is another powerful antidote. Instead of fixating on what you lack, practice being thankful for what you have. As Marcus Aurelius advised, do not indulge in dreams of what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave them if they were not yours. Gratitude grounds us, helping us see the abundance already present in our lives. Building self-confidence also reduces the hold jealousy has over us. Envy often arises when we feel inadequate or unsure of our worth. By focusing on personal growth, setting achievable goals, and celebrating small victories, we reinforce our sense of self. This makes it easier to admire others' successes without feeling threatened. Lastly, connect with others authentically. Jealousy thrives in isolation, feeding on unspoken comparisons. By engaging openly, we realize that everyone faces struggles and insecurities, no matter how polished their achievements may seem. This understanding fosters empathy and diminishes envy's grip. Jealousy is not inherently bad. It's a signal, a reminder to pause and reflect. When channeled positively, it becomes a teacher, guiding us towards self-awareness and growth. Let it be the spark that fuels your ambition, not the fire that consumes your joy. As you encounter feelings of envy, remember that the only journey you should compare is the one you're on today versus the one you were on yesterday. In that comparison, you'll always find room to grow. 4. Fear of change. Change is the essence of life, a constant flowing river that reshapes our world. Yet many of us resist it, clinging to outdated methods and familiar routines, even when they no longer serve us. This fear of stepping outside our comfort zone keeps us stagnant, robbing us of growth and opportunity. The Stoics remind us, what stands in the way becomes the way. By confronting our fear of change, we unlock paths to wisdom and progress. I once found myself caught in this trap. At work, a new software tool was introduced to improve efficiency. I resisted, insisting that the old system was good enough. I avoided learning the new tool, convinced that my way was better. This mindset followed me into a company-wide competition where innovation and adaptability were key. Unsurprisingly, my resistance to change cost me the win, leaving me to reflect on my rigidity. It was a humbling experience, but it became the catalyst for a new perspective. I realized that change wasn't my enemy, it was my teacher. From that moment, I committed to continuous learning and embracing the unfamiliar. The fear of change often stems from a need for control. We find comfort in what we know, even if it's outdated or unproductive. Yet, as life evolves, clinging to the past leaves us behind. Imagine a business leader who insists on using traditional strategies while competitors innovate with modern techniques. Over time, the leader's reluctance to adapt causes their company to falter, while others thrive. This resistance to change is not strength, it is a refusal to grow. Stoic philosophy encourages us to view change as an opportunity rather than a threat. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe how all things are constantly changing and see how nothing truly stays the same." This isn't a call to chaos, but to adaptability. The Stoics understood that the natural flow of life requires us to adjust and evolve, and that resisting change only deepens our struggles. Embracing change doesn't mean abandoning caution. It means learning to discern when to hold on and when to let go. Fear of change often masks a deeper fear, the fear of failure. But failure, as the Stoics teach, is a necessary step toward growth. By resisting change, we deny ourselves the lessons that come from facing challenges head-on. Start small. If you find yourself hesitant to embrace change, take incremental steps. For instance, if you're reluctant to adopt new technology, begin by exploring its features in your own time. If you're resisting a career shift, break the transition into manageable phases. These small actions build confidence, making the larger shift feel less daunting. It's also essential to challenge your assumptions. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I embrace this change? Often, our fears are exaggerated, rooted more in perception than reality. By confronting these fears directly, we take away their power. Gratitude can also help us reframe change. Instead of focusing on what we lose, consider what we gain. As Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will go on well." This mindset doesn't mean passively accepting everything. It means finding value in the inevitable shifts of life. If fear of change has held you back, reflect on the cost of staying the same. What opportunities have you missed? What potential remains untapped? By embracing change, you step into a world of growth, discovery, and resilience. The next time you face a crossroads, remember that the discomfort of change is temporary, but the rewards of adaptability are lasting. Life flows forward, and those who learn to flow with it are the ones who truly thrive. 5. Constant blame shifting. Imagine someone who always finds a scapegoat. When they miss a deadline, it's because their team didn't provide enough support. When a relationship falls apart, they insist it's entirely the other person's fault. These individuals rarely pause to reflect on their own role in the situation. Constant blame shifting is not just a pattern of avoidance, it's a barrier to personal growth. It keeps us stuck in the same cycle of mistakes, robbing us of the opportunity to learn and evolve. Blame, when misplaced, becomes a crutch. It shields us from the discomfort of accountability, but also prevents us from addressing the real issues at hand. Stoic philosophy teaches that wisdom begins with self-reflection. As Epictetus observed, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By refusing to take responsibility, we relinquish control over our ability to grow, becoming passive observers of our own lives. This behavior often stems from fear. The fear of admitting failure, of being criticized, or of appearing weak. Pointing fingers at external factors may seem like an easy way out, but it only delays the consequences. Consider a manager whose project fails due to poor planning. Instead of recognizing their role, they blame the team or claim the timeline was unrealistic. Over time, this erodes trust, lowers morale, and stifles the innovation needed for future success. I once witnessed this firsthand. A colleague was leading a major initiative that didn't meet expectations. Instead of analyzing what went wrong, they immediately blamed their team for being unprepared, and the organization for setting impossible goals. Yet it was clear their own lack of communication and preparation were the root causes. By refusing to take responsibility, they created resentment within the team, and the same mistakes were repeated in subsequent projects. This refusal to reflect not only harmed the project, but also damaged the relationships and trust needed to move forward. The Stoics remind us that blame shifting isn't a shield, it's a chain that binds us to mediocrity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Owning our actions doesn't mean taking blame for everything, but it does mean recognizing where we have influence and learning from our shortcomings. Accountability is not a burden. It is a powerful tool for transformation. When we take responsibility, we gain the ability to grow stronger and wiser with each challenge. Taking ownership is liberating because it shifts the focus from external circumstances to internal growth. Imagine the difference if that manager had said, "I see where I went wrong. Let's work together to improve." This humility fosters trust and collaboration, turning failures into opportunities for growth. It also strengthens relationships, showing others that you respect their efforts and are willing to share in both successes and setbacks. Accountability requires intentionality and self-awareness. The next time something goes wrong, resist the urge to point fingers. Instead, reflect on your role and what could have been done differently. This shift from blame to reflection fosters resilience and allows you to approach challenges with a clearer perspective. It's not about self-criticism, but about the courage to look inward and grow from your experiences. Gratitude is another way to counteract blame shifting. By focusing on the resources and support available to us, we can better appreciate the collective effort behind any endeavor. As Seneca said, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." This mindset helps us approach setbacks with grace and resilience, acknowledging both the challenges and the opportunities they bring. Blame shifting may provide temporary relief, but it comes at the cost of long-term growth. Taking responsibility allows us to reclaim control over our lives, learn from our mistakes, and build stronger connections with others. The next time you face adversity, pause and reflect instead of pointing fingers. Ask yourself, what can I do to make this better? This simple shift doesn't just change the outcome, it transforms you. Accountability is not a weakness, it is the foundation of strength and wisdom. 6. Making emotional decisions. Have you ever decided in the heat of the moment, only to regret it later? I remember a time when I let emotions dictate my choice. I splurged on an expensive fitness device, convinced it would revolutionize my health routine. The excitement lasted a week before the device sat forgotten, gathering dust on a shelf. When I reflected on that decision, I realized it wasn't about genuine need or long-term value. It was about seeking instant gratification. This is the trap of emotional decision-making. It promises satisfaction at the moment, but rarely delivers the lasting fulfillment we truly seek. Acting impulsively is like setting sail in a storm without a map. It might feel urgent to make a choice, but without direction, we often end up lost. Stoic philosophy teaches us to prioritize reflection over reaction. As Seneca wisely said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." True strength lies in pausing, stepping back, and responding with reason, rather than letting fleeting emotions dictate our actions. Emotional decisions often stem from a desire to escape discomfort or chase immediate pleasure. This short-term focus blinds us to long-term consequences. Imagine someone quitting their job in anger after a tense argument with their boss. At the moment, it might feel liberating, but the weight of losing stability and income soon follows. Emotional actions may provide temporary relief, but they often create bigger problems down the road. The Stoics believe that emotions are not enemies but signals. They alert us to what we value, yet it's our responsibility to decide how to act on them. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom reminds us that while emotions can guide us, they should never control us. When faced with a decision, the most important step is to pause. That brief moment of stillness can make all the difference. Ask yourself, What are the long-term effects of this choice? Am I acting on impulse, or does this decision align with my values? Reflection shifts the focus from immediate feelings to thoughtful action, allowing us to see the bigger picture. Another powerful tool is perspective. Reframing the situation can help distance us from emotional intensity. For example, if you feel the urge to respond harshly in an argument, think about how those words will resonate tomorrow. Will they resolve the issue or deepen the divide? This mental exercise provides clarity, enabling you to choose words and actions that lead to better outcomes. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in combating emotional decision-making. When we focus on what we already have, we're less likely to act out of a sense of lack or urgency. As Epictetus taught, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By cultivating gratitude, we anchor ourselves in the present, reducing the impulse to chase fleeting desires. It's essential to remember that making emotional decisions is part of being human. We all experience moments when feelings overshadow logic. The goal isn't to eliminate these moments, but to learn from them. Every time we choose reflection over reaction, we build resilience and strengthen our ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom. The next time you feel the pull of emotion urging you to act, pause. Reflect on the situation and ask yourself, what truly matters here? By prioritizing reason over impulse, you not only avoid regret but also make choices that align with your values, leading to deeper fulfillment and lasting growth. 7. Arrogance over humility. Arrogance blinds us to opportunities for growth. It convinces us that we already know enough, that our way is the best, and that there's little value in listening to others. This mindset, while comforting to the ego, ultimately stifles progress and damages relationships. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true wisdom begins with humility, a virtue that allows us to recognize our limitations and remain open to learning. I once encountered someone who embodied this challenge. During a team training session, a skilled instructor was teaching an innovative approach to problem solving. Instead of engaging, this individual dismissed the lesson, stating, "I already know a better way to do this." Their arrogance not only robbed them of valuable insights, but also alienated their colleagues, who felt disrespected by the lack of collaboration. What was intended as a moment for growth became a missed opportunity. Arrogance often stems from insecurity, a need to prove one's worth by appearing infallible. But the Stoics remind us that true confidence isn't about always being right. It's about being willing to admit when we're wrong. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." Humility is not a weakness. It is the strength to prioritize truth over ego. When arrogance takes hold, it creates barriers. Feedback is ignored, relationships become strained, and opportunities for improvement are overlooked. Imagine someone refusing to admit a mistake, even when clear evidence is presented. This stubbornness doesn't make them appear strong, it isolates them, limiting their ability to grow and adapt. On the other hand, humility opens doors. It creates space for collaboration, fosters trust, and encourages others to share their knowledge and perspectives. As Epictetus observed, it is impossible to learn that which you think you already know. By embracing humility, we create an environment where learning and connection thrive. Overcoming arrogance requires self-awareness. It begins with the willingness to reflect on your actions and motivations. Ask yourself, am I rejecting feedback because it's unhelpful or because it challenges my pride? Recognizing this distinction is the first step toward cultivating humility. It also helps to actively seek feedback, even when it's uncomfortable. By inviting others to share their perspectives, you demonstrate respect and a genuine desire to grow. Practicing gratitude can also counter arrogance. When we acknowledge the contributions and insights of others, we shift our focus from self-centeredness to interconnectedness. This gratitude fosters a sense of humility, reminding us that no one succeeds alone. As Seneca said, "No one can live happily who has regard for themselves alone and transforms everything into a question of their own utility." Another powerful practice is to embrace the phrase, "I don't know." These three words, though simple, carry profound significance. They signal openness and the courage to admit your limitations. Instead of undermining your credibility, they show strength of character and a willingness to learn. The greatest minds in history achieved their wisdom not by knowing everything, but by recognizing how much they didn't know. Arrogance may shield us from discomfort in the short term, but it ultimately limits our potential. Humility, on the other hand, invites growth, fosters deeper relationships, and builds resilience. The next time you feel the pull of arrogance, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this person or situation? By embracing humility, you align yourself with the path of wisdom, unlocking a richer, more meaningful way of living. Life is a journey shaped by the choices we make and the lessons we learn. Throughout this exploration of 7 key signs of poor judgment, we've uncovered how behaviors like arrogance, impulsivity, and fear of change can hold us back. Yet these aren't fixed traits, they're opportunities for growth. Stoic philosophy reminds us that wisdom lies in recognizing our flaws, learning from them, and striving to improve every day. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The power to change is within us. By embracing humility, practicing patience, and focusing on personal growth, we align ourselves with a life of purpose and clarity. Every challenge becomes a chance to grow stronger. Every mistake an invitation to gain insight. Now, it's your turn. Reflect on what we've discussed today. Do any of these behaviors resonate with you? Perhaps you've encountered them in others, or maybe you've seen them in yourself. Share your stories in the comments below. Your insights could inspire someone else to embark on their journey of self-awareness and growth. Remember, no one is perfect. Wisdom isn't about never making mistakes. It's about having the courage to face them, learn from them, and move forward with purpose. Let this be the start of a transformative path for you. Together, we can cultivate lives rooted in clarity, resilience, and lasting peace.